I'm Kelly Slater. I found my perfect fins. Have you found your perfect setup yet?
I have spent that time to go and compare all the different fins.
Each surfer is going to have obviously a different feel for what they like.
You have every aspect you want. You have your speed and your drive, maneuverability, all that, but there will be certain fins and shapes that do different things, so you just got to figure out which suits your surfing the best. You can go to a surf shop that has a testing center or whatever and just go borrow fins and try out a few different fins. They have different flexes, different areas. You can take note of how much area the fin has, how deep it is, compare them with the other fins. And just go try them in different conditions. I would recommend to anyone to just basically go out and just test it, test it for yourself and try finding your perfect setup.
The K 2.1 fin I like because it turns really sharp. It turns in a real tight radius turns, and the board's loose because the back fin's smaller than the front fins, and overall we don't have a ton of area in that fin setup. So I like them in beach breaks. I like them in reef breaks, hollow waves, anywhere where you basically want to get somewhere real quick, do your thing, get out of there, and that's basically what they're good for.
My fins were basically created for beach breaks. At that time we were surfing a lot of beach breaks on tour, but I just changed the shape a little bit, made it a little tiny bit more upright and had a little more tip in it.
The K3 is more for a wave like Jeffreys Bay, maybe a Rincon, somewhere where it's down the line, has a big face on it, and you draw your turns out a little bit more. In a big facey wave where you need to get around long sections, they're really good because they're deep fin, kind of a pulled back foil shape, as you can see, and that seems to maintain the speed better over long turns.
If it's a more open-faced, kind of need to draw your turnout sort of wave, I'll ride the K3, that fin template. And if I'm riding more of a hollow beach break, either a hollow wave like a reef break, pipe, or chopu, or I'm surfing a beach break, I'll throw in the 2.1s. So that's basically what I switch back and forth from. That'll cover pretty much every condition for me.
Actually, I had a heat one time. I was at surfing Mundaka. I was just about to paddle out in the heat, and I forgot to screw my back fin in. And it was actually funny because I had time to run back in before my heat, grabbed a different fin and put it in. And I think I put a different back fin in than I was going to use, and it felt really good, and I had a really good heat.
We were surfing a beachy, I think it was in Brazil or something. The waves were kind of small and it was getting smaller, like the tide was coming up, and I had a pair of PG5s in, and I felt like I was surfing all right, but I just wasn't as loose. And another heat later, I ended up putting my PG3s in, which are smaller fins, and it just kind of like made me a little more looser and free, and I just kind of flowed with it more. And yeah, I put in the 3s and it ended up working.
My board was really stiff in small waves, so I put the back fin in, and that fin was a little smaller. It was more of a raked single fin sort of looking fin. And I put that fin in, instantly my board was completely different. And I went from sort of feeling, for me, like I was struggling in 2 to 3 foot surf to feeling like I could sort of go wherever I wanted to on the wave just because I loosened the tail of the board up. Before I had FCS on my boards, I was traveling with a huge coffin. It was 10 feet long. It was 3 or 4, probably 4 feet thick and 3 feet wide. And if I had 10 boards in that thing, it was a monster. If I travel with 5 or 6 boards, you can't tell I have that many boards in the bag. Looks like I might have 3.
Definitely my favorite fin, the fin that I feel most comfortable with, that I know what I'm gonna get. It's the most control group. With, at least in my mind, is the PG5, and I know I keep commenting on it because pretty much I use it all the time, And the more I ride different boards, or the more I'm experimenting with different materials and stuff, the more I kind of come back to, man, why I love what I use, My favorite fin right now is the PG5s. I love it in all conditions. I know what I'm gonna get. And so usually when I try a board out, that's the first fin I'll put in there.
Well, I'm trying to figure out if there's other possibilities. I mean, it just may be that Thruster is the greatest board that we'll ever have, but there's still work to be done on
testing different fins and flexes and things like that, you know, and it's a personal thing for each person. There's no right and wrong. It allows me to make a board suit the type of wave I'm surfing. It's allowed me to change what I'm doing and feel a board that can ride totally differently in different conditions.
It's definitely better to have fins that you can change.
That's the thing, you can go out and ride something and make it feel completely different, and it's the same board.
Or I'm always putting in the PG5 because I know I love this fin, I know I ride this fin, I know it's what I get, you know?
I'm so used to being able to switch my fins out for the conditions and customizing my board for what I want that I really couldn't imagine going back to fixed fins at this point. I feel like it's a real limiting factor.